Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced and welcome to Clutch Champions. Here we are facing off, in a battle of world champions. With the white pieces, we have the current reigning world champion Gukesh Dommaraju facing off against the former world champion Magnus Carlsen, also a 5 times world champion. A really interesting start, and Gukesh is with the white pieces, so let's see how that will go. So without further ado, let's start with this game. This game is a phenomenal game. Here e4 was played by Gukesh. Now we go into d6, d4 and knight to f6. This is the perk defense. We have knight to c3, e5 now, and here just going for knight to f3. And time wise, if we see, it's a rapid game. You're not going to have much increment either. And with that said, Gukesh in that regard is actually the last seed of the tournament, because Magnus is somewhere 2808 and Fabi is 2767, while on the other hand, even Hikaru is like very low on in rapid time section. I think he don't play much rapid games. He's roughly 2747 and Gukesh is 2693. So with that, he is the last seed of the tournament, but still, rapid time section, he always struggles in. Will he be able to overcome that fear against Magnus? Well, let's see. A knight bd7 was played. Now just comes bishop to c4 and we have bishop to e7. Castles, a4 now pushing the pawn all the way, c6, and here just rook to e1. h6 now pushing, not allowing the bishop or knight to jump ever. Here just h3 and here rook to e8. We have bishop to e3 now, just developing pieces. E captures, bishop captures, and just bishop to f8. So playing calm here, not going all the way. You could go for a move like a5 right from here and take up more and more space. After a move like b6, you play a captures, knight captures, bishop to b3 because that bishop was under attack. You play this knight to h7, and after bishop to e3, now just c5, taking more space. But bishop to f4 is definitely going to come in because you have created a weakness in this position, and I am going to attack it. Once I go here, maybe here, I will just bounce on towards it. Maybe the knight can jump in somewhere along the line as well, and it's going to be a really fine game for Gukesh. But here after bishop to f8, knight to d2 was played. But now just comes this knight to e5, attacking the bishop to f1, and here just going for knight to g6, remaneuvering the pieces to better squares. a5 now, and Gukesh is saying, well, give me more space. Here bishop to e6, now it just comes even g3, and these are all best engine moves. Here Gukesh is playing really good chess. Here d5. Now in this position, what do? You could start with a6. That's a very nice move because you want to ruin the pawn structure. And here, if you go for b captures, then just comes e captures, and after knight captures, you play and trade another piece. Queen captures, you can go for this bishop to c3, and after bishop to c5, developing more pieces and getting more pieces into the attack, you play knight to b3, first attacking the bishop. And you don't want to trade early on. You want to allow your opponent to trade so you can just better fix your pawn structure and also get a central pawn. Most likely that could be a pass pawn in the future, but here just bishop to b6 obviously, and here queen caps on d5, c captures, and the game will go on with both players having roughly equal chances. White being a little bit better, of course, because you have like less pawn islands. So with that regard, maybe white is a little bit better because you do have a shattered pawn structure. But here after d5, bishop to g2 was played, and now just comes bishop to b4, a6, b captures on a6, and just e captures on d5. Knight captures on d5, knight captures, bishop captures, so we trade everything. First a rook captures on e8, and queen captures, and just bishop captures, c captures, so we have trading everything and gone to c3. You could have also gone for this rook caps on a6, which was the best move recommended by the engine. But after queen to c8, the thing is that you are hitting this and you are hitting this as well. So how do you save anything? Well, you just grab another pawn. Here rook captures, and after rook captures, bishop captures, queen captures on h3, and it looks very scary because somewhere along the line the ideas like knight to h4 also comes in mind. Here c3, pushing the bishop back, but bishop to d6, and now you're doing really scary. But here knight to f1, and you've just solved all your problems. There are no sacrifices here, and most likely the game with these pass pawns, you could have some serious chances. But after c caps on d5, c3 was played, and now just comes bishop back to f8. We have rook captures on a6, finally grabbing that pawn. Queen to b5, now attacking it and also attacking the b2 pawn, so you're going to have to save, or you can decide on capturing that and go into a draw. But here rook to a2 was played. Now just comes a5, queen to a4, because that queen is a marvelous queen. It's a great resource that Magnus has. You want to be able to trade it for your passive queen, but obviously Magnus won't trade it. Magnus goes queen to d3. just mind here, you cannot go queen to e2. If you go queen to e2, b4 comes and your queen will be under attack, so you need to be a little bit careful. A knight to f1, and after rook to a6 you play just b4, pushing the pawn all the way, and here rook to e6, and now here rook to d2 was played, attacking the queen, and it looks very scary because somewhere along the line that rook is going to be jumping in, and it looks very, very scary. And the only move you have is this, and the thing is that both players were very much down on the clock. Magnus took a minute of 2.5 minutes think, and he was able to actually come up with queen to f5, and here b captures on a5 was played, and now queen captures on h3, and it is again looking very scary. Engine is giving a valuation that white is better, but only because of the pass pawn. But how do you defend all the threats that's there, that's posed towards here to your king side? You don't have that much, and with less and less time on the clock, it's going to be much difficult. A queen to d1 was the move Gukesh had to find. This is the only move that gives you winning advantage right here, and winning, I mean, considering winning, because it's 0.8 roughly, and it should be good enough. If you go h5 trying to push h4 and break open, hey, rook to d3 is the move that you want to find. And if h4, nonetheless you have g4 attacking the queen, and now the only move in this position for Magnus is rook to e1. Yes, this is the only move. And after rook caps on h3, you play rook caps on d1, a6 now pushing the pawn all the way, rook to a1, and even a7, and it looks very scary. How do you even defend the pawn? I mean, how do you stop it from promotion? It looks very interesting. But the thing is that you can go knight to e7. After rook to e3, you just go for this knight to c6, and now you are attacking it twice. There's no easy way for me to save it either. Bishop to c5, I mean, I can play, but still, with the idea that you capture, I can just give a check and you can next move I'm promoting. But still, you need to be really careful in this idea, and the game is an absolutely amazing dynamic game. But here after queen caps on h3, a6 was played immediately. Now just comes to rook to e1, and I mean, Gukesh did allow it with the a6 move. He was not able to find the only queen to d1 idea, but it's a difficult move to spot when you're very much low on the clock. Here queen to b5 now were Gukesh only move. Bishop to c5. Bishop to c5 is a brilliant move in this position, and that came with a double exclamation mark as well, although it's not showing here. The move that here, only move that you need to find, and Gukesh down to like 20 seconds now plays queen to d3, a brilliant move here. Bishop caps on d4 was played, c captures, and the move that you want to play in this position is actually, well, not that easy to spot. Definitely it, I mean, you also always want to put the rook behind the pass pawn, so rook to a1 was played by Magnus. But move that you want to play is queen to e2, just keeping an eye here, also some back rank issues, and everything should be fine here. But here Gukesh goes for rook to d1, and rook to d1 is a move that, it's just, he was very much down on the clock, so obviously understandable. I mean, less than 5 seconds, you're not able to find the best move, it's fine. But the move that you want to find to be able to win this game is not at all easy, and even Magnus was not able to spot it. Well, can you? I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try and find out the only winning move in this position, which gives you a winning advantage right from well, this 34 moves charade that has happened. Well, you have at it. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move. The move is actually knight to h4, and this is the only winning move in this position. The trouble is, checkmate is being threatened. You have to capture it. If you capture it, then just comes queen to g4 check. I'm hitting the rook. I'm also doing it with a check. Once you move here, rook caps on d1, that comes with an attack towards the queen as well, so queen needs to move. And after this, queen caps on h4, king to g1, queen to g4 check, king to h2, you play queen captures on d4, and this is how you win the game. And it's a completely winning game now, because even though you have the knight, your king is exposed. This pass pawn is not going to be much worth now, because first you are actually covering the square, and other than that, I mean, there are just so many checks in this position. You can always go for a draw, but obviously a draw is not what you seek in this position. I mean, queen is already overloaded, guarding the pawn and the knight at the same time. It's just about time, somewhere along the line anything is going to fall and your position would entirely collapse. But here after rook to d1, knight to f4 was played by Magnus, thinking that it's the same idea, but it's not, and now it's a draw. That's why it's a beautiful game, because now you can go for this. I mean, unfortunately, after this beautiful knight to f4 move by Magnus, here Gukesh's clock ran out. He was not able to find this move, but a beautiful move nonetheless, and Magnus did take the first point, so kudos to Magnus. But I mean, either way, no one is going to find this move with like 5 seconds on the clock. But Gukesh played a spectacular game nonetheless. He was able to find a lot of ideas, that too in the heat of the moment, and playing it in 10 minutes and beating Magnus, who's 2800. I mean, in regards to perfect moves, beating Magnus, it's very difficult to try to do that, and he was able to do it, almost do it. But yeah, in the heat of the moment, it's very difficult to beat Magnus. Magnus had some 30 seconds and Gukesh had only 5, and that's where the trouble came, and here his clock ran out, and unfortunately he could not do it anymore. But still, played a spectacular game, and the move that you want to find in this position that I wanted to tell you about is actually knight to e3. And you're not finding this. You're not finding this. You're never finding this. That's the thing. Even if you have like 30 minutes, it's still gonna calculate like everything, and then you're gonna have to find this. The thing is that knight caps on d3, you have rook caps on e1. I have a pass pawn, and that's the idea. If you go for queen to c8 now, covering the square, just knight caps on d5, and yeah, I'm first threatening this. I'm pushing this. If you go here, then I mean, queen to 8 will be met with knight to c7, and yeah, I am promoting. Either way, I'm promoting. You can take my knight, but other than that, I think this should be a draw. You will have some perpetual or something here. And even if you don't have perpetual, you're going to have to stop that or sacrifice the knight for that pawn or somewhere along the line. So it's just a draw. And analyzing it and understanding that it's a draw are two different things. I mean, with less time on the clock, obviously you're not going to see it, but still, I mean, very difficult to spot this in the heat of the moment. But understanding why knight to h4 and knight to f4 is different, even Magnus could not do, definitely. I mean, very difficult to try and understand that one, but still. But yeah, great game by both of these players. Really a great start to the tournament. And Gukesh has definitely improved. I mean, it shows by the mature moves that and the lines that he's playing. It's definitely, I mean, in rapid time section, all the games that he's playing right now, and the way he's playing in the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz and all of those games he played, it has definitely improved his gameplay, and I'm sure he'll continue to rise in the Rapid and Blitz section as he's continued to rise in every other time format and classical as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll be coming back with some of these amazing games, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Thank you very, very much for watching.